morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session where we're going to be talking about abundance. We've been talking for the last couple weeks about the journey of understanding our definition of abundance, and today we're going to talk about allowing and absorbing abundance. It's one of the things that we in our heads think about and try and figure out, but we'd love to come at it today from a place of allowing, absorbing, feeling, and seeing the abundance that is always here with us, always sharing with us in all ways. And so I think it would be great today to start out with Tricia's exploration that she's been doing around the Nidra, the Yoga Nidra 40-day experience. So Tricia, good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm good. Hi, this is Tricia. And yeah, and I like staying with absorption because allow to me still is intellectualizing it, but absorption feels very much to me that I'm feeling it and sensing it. And um, it's coming in through my skin.
Yeah, my
And
whole
and
being, right?
yes,
Not just the
yeah,
crown and the third
e-
eye.
exactly. I really like that. So yes, so in my practice, and I keep exploring the question of being a whole and fulfilled person, and what does that look like to me, what does that feel like. And I realized at the end of my practice yesterday, I had asked myself a couple of questions during the while I was doing nidra, and one was about forgiving myself for my past mistakes I've made, decisions I've made that didn't turn out so great. And the other was I'm allow myself to move past that stuff. And when I was done and I was kind of journaling about what the practice was, I realized I was totally still working from my head, judging what was a bad decisions that I had made and stuff, and I was totally not coming from my heart, because through my heart those things don't matter. Mistakes are part of our human experience. They're not judged. Certainly not by the divine. So that was a real aha moment for
Mhm.
me, that go to the heart, go to the heart, go to the heart, and not the head. The head is still trying to figure it out, trying to give me a task to do to get to this place that my heart tells me I'm already there. I'm already at, and allow myself to feel it. So that was really very powerful for me. And I looked up something I'd like to share. And this is again, it's from the Yoga Sutras, but the translation's from Nikolai Bachman, who has a kind of a different take on the sutras. He's Western, he's from the East Coast, and not from India. So his translation's a little different. But seated in our heart and pervading every cell of our body lies a conscious, intelligent awareness. Individual uniqueness is due to our temporary, ever changing body, breath, and mind. These outer layers of ourselves surround an inner divine light of awareness called Purusha, or Atman, which illuminates the truth and expresses love and compassion. And just saying that, it makes me
Mhm.
feel that anytime I'm not feeling love and compassion, I'm in my head and not my heart.
Mhm.
Our thoughts and emotions can distort what we perceive, creating in our heart mind a cloud that blurs what we register in memory. The process of yoga includes practices to quiet down and clarify our heart mind so that this inner essence can shed light on whatever we experience and reveal what is true and actual. So
Mm.
again, memory, the intellectual pursuit distorts what we're looking at based on past memories and hurts and things like that. But if we come from the heart mind, that's all clear, and it's clear and it's love, and there's no work to do or make up for. There's no guilt associated with that. So
Right.
that's a reminder to myself, and one that I keep forgetting.
Weird, isn't it? I think it's kind of being human. I think it's a gift of the mind to keep trying to protect us until we don't need it anymore. But until we see it and can trust that there is this bigger divine energy going on, the journey it's kind of what we talked about with Michael Thomas. You go out on this life journey and you're holding on to all those mementos, let's say, that of who it makes you are, what you are, your past, your experiences, and by the time you get older, you've accumulated a pretty big bag full. And then at some point we say, these aren't helping me on my journey anymore. In fact, they're hindering me. And that's what it felt like when you said the layers, those felt like layers. They felt like things that we've accumulated. And now we're just saying, hey, I don't have to process them. I don't have to, you can if you want, but letting them go so that your heart, the diamond perfection of your divinity, can really just glow. And it doesn't have to justify any of that or explain it away. It just says it brought me here. That's all that matters. I'm here. I'm on my divine journey. Thank you. And and I can be free of it, to absorb the abundance that wants to show up, right? The abundance that is showing up, that has been showing up. But we've got this dust layer. It feels like dust to me. It just feels like, and then it feels like a shell. And then it feels, depending on what I've been through during the week or whatever, or through a lifetime, then it feels like crust. So some of us are probably dealing with dust and some are dealing with some serious crust, but that doesn't mean it can't be cracked and let go of in the holy instant. It really doesn't.
Right. Well, it's like that prayer of gratitude, which we hear so often that we take for granted, is just to be grateful for everything that brought you to this moment. Because
Right.
the fact that you're in a moment in this inquiry of knowing the difference between my mind projecting and my heart being open to everything, that's a gift in itself.
Mm. It is the journey. It almost feels like that that fork in the road where you realize that you're at that point and you could say, I choose love. I love loving. I love the abundance of my life, versus your mind going, but. It's like, thank you. And I choose this grace that is me, that radiates from me, the I am that I am. Um, I was wondering, what sutra was it? I don't think you mentioned.
Well, because like I said, Nikolai Bachman organizes the the sutras differently. So he puts concepts together rather than organizing it like Sutra 1.1 and 1.2 and 1.3. He puts concepts together. So this concept is Purusha, which is the pure inner light of awareness.
Mm,
So it's a compilation of different sutras that speak to Purusha.
And that's what we're speaking to, right? The heart is the Purusha, the inner light that gets covered or gets distracted. It never gets distracted. It just gets covered
It
up by our
doesn't.
mind. No,
Right,
right.
right.
We could, right.
We get distracted, right?
Right. Um, and one of my teachers said that abundance, the definition of abundance is just the ability to receive. And I think receive is an interesting word, and at some point we'll probably have a podcast on it because it seems like something outside of us is bestowing on us, right?
Mm,
And that's why I think this ability to absorb or remember that Purusha, that feels like when we're on the abundance journey, which to me is the same thing as being on the spiritual path. They're so intertwined to me. You can use the word abundance, wealth, um, prosperity, love, whatever, yogi. They're all to me very much about coming to that understanding of our Purusha that um but it's that radiance. It's receiving and it's allowing all that energy that of love to flow through us.
right. That's why I love the word absorption.
Yeah.
It is right. And it's not only absorbing, it's reflecting.
Mm.
So it's reciprocal.
Right, it's a flow
Yeah.
experience, right? Because when you can absorb it, it just, and then I see it squishing out, like my cup overfloweth. That whole thing of you give from your abundance, you don't give from your lack. And that was always, to me, the interesting thing about growing up Catholic was, you always got to tithe, no matter if and if you can tithe from a place of abundance, power to you. But doing it from a place of lack it never felt good to me. It's so much more fun to give when your cup overfloweth. And that is, you've absorbed to the point that, oh, yeah, here.
Right.
And
It's just running through me.
right, it's
Right.
pouring through me, right? Like a good cup of, well, Sanka or Folgers, which is a seriously old cup of coffee, right? Um, but I do think that's what felt like so good is to be able and check in with ourselves to see, are we willing to absorb? you know could, because the intellect says abundance is this and this, and your heart says it's
Everything.
way bigger, it's way
Right.
bigger and way more available. I, you know I and it's in a we've been talking about the abundance is more than just money. It's friendship, it's love, it's joy, it's playfulness, it's magic, it's fun, it's all the stuff, all the stuff that makes you go, ooh, this is fun. And I was, when I was preparing for today, I think I realized over the weekend that I might have been blocking also my abundance because I had a migraine, and I've come to see migraines, of course, as a physical issue, but clear, cancel, delete. The thing I want to replace that with is an allowance of my abundance. And, switching back into my mind is always protecting me. And what if I could just be in my heart, like you said, and say, it's all here, and all the health I could possibly ever need, and all the wherewithal for my health I could ever need is all with me right now. Um, I, I- and I want to do that practice. I want to, that's why I love this podcast, because it's a reminding me to do that practice on a daily basis, like we talked about last week, so that in those maybe those moments won't even show up, or they'll shorten, or whatever, or and I carry it in my shoulders. I don't know where people carry it, but you can tell when your body's, protecting, right? Because it starts to creak up. Or
Right.
you get sick, or I get a migraine, right? And I don't mean for it to, I mean to be open and available, but somehow that little mind, protect, protect, protect. What about, what about, what about? And, judging and all the stuff you mentioned swoops in.
So share the reading that you have.
Oh, I love this. So one of the
Yeah.
things I've taken some theta healing classes, and theta is really just a little bit of background. It is a practice and now I think it's a pretty big movement in that when you go into a theta state, you are free of, little you. You're nobody, nowhere, no thing. You release all the aspects of you that keep you from seeing yourself as one with, let's say, creator. And in creator is the word, but I would say you could use the word I am, you could use word God, whatever is your preferred, you know, concept of unlimited, unbelievably amazing love. And one of the things that they do in theta is once you see well, let me just say, from a theta perspective, you can download complete understanding of the way creator or the unlimited sees life. And to me, that was one of the big ahas of taking theta classes was I can actually access the way God sees it, not the way little Lori sees it, not the way humans see it, but I can go up to the source and go, I need you, I need that perspective on this. I need, I want to download the understanding like about abundance, that it's always here. Down the creator's perspective, I don't even understand scarcity. Ask and it's given is really, there is no scarcity. There is no unhealth. It's all pure. And so what we were talking about, the reading is around absorption, that you can download from creator's perspective what it feels like to well, these are the downloads. And this is, you go, and technically you can go into a theta state, but I think when you're in yoga nidra or in shavasana, anytime when you're, just so relaxed and in that place of availability, you can go to creator and say, I want to download the understanding of creator's definition of absorbing the life force, the creator's definition. I understand creator's definition of absorbing abundance. I understand what it feels like to absorb abundance. So there you've got understanding the definition and what it feels like from, that unlimited sources perspective. And then I know what information to absorb regarding abundance. I know what abundance to absorb. So that knowing about, I want to absorb the highest definition of abundance. I know how to absorb abundance in the highest and best way. I know how to live my daily life absorbing abundance. That one's so beautiful, right? Oh my gosh. I know how to live my daily life. And I know it's possible to absorb abundance. Again, I love that it's possible. I know how to live. I know what it feels like. I know what it is. Those are things that I think our little mind kind of wants to have answers for. And at this point, we're making ourselves available for the abundance absorption with, in a way where our mind sits down so that we are in our full divinity, our full Purusha. Could you feel that when I was saying those?
Yes, it feels totally different than thinking about it. That's why I think the word absorption allows me to have a physical sense of it rather than allow, which to me is still intellectual.
Right. And receive, which has all kinds of baggage, right? In my
Gosh,
opinion.
people are crazy, aren't we?
We are. You really get all gummed up. And I think that's divine play. We come here, we get a personality that has, all this imprint, and then we go on the journey of release, integrating and remembering, and then, isn't that moksha? Reconnecting with our divine, with divinity. Um, what is the yoga word for it? Is it
For what?
moksha?
Reconnecting?
Well, for being that divine energy.
Purusha,
It's Purusha. Okay. Because I know moksha is being in that place of bliss,
right?
and
But Purusha is that. It is that place.
right,
Conscious, intelligent awareness.
conscious, intelligent awareness. Oh, there's another word, intelligent, pops you to your mind.
Well,
It's
right. The divine light of awareness, which illuminates the truth and expresses love and compassion.
right. Yes. I noticed, look at how quickly we went to our minds about, well, define moksha, define purusha, instead of staying in that absorption place, right? It's
Right,
so easy to do. And that's the practice, like we were talking about last week.
right,
That's the point where we say, I can go and mentally masticate on this forever, or I can switch over into my heart and absorb the abundance that is here, that is just the place that we come from, that we are, that's flowing all around.
right. And going back to that aspect of practice, just an easy way to do that is have a space, the same space that you go to for this practice all the time, so that your mind, your intellect knows, when I go to this space, I'm coming here to allow absorption. So it's almost like playing a game with your mind, that
Yeah,
here's my little sacred space where I absorb my divinity and my divine intelligence and my this love, and light a candle, whatever you do to make it a special space for you, so that you start to absorb, this is my space for my practice to be, to sit with my divine self instead of my judgmental thinking self. I mean, by laying it out, your practice can be that gentle. It
right.
doesn't have to be an 18-step process that you do. Um, if you like sage yourself, clear the space before you come in. Whatever is meaningful to you, that's practice.
Right. Yeah, and it has a ritual aspect. When I was traveling this weekend, and I was on the plane, and there was turbulence, and I could feel my heart pounding, and I started to get a little anxiety. Well, not a little, I had some anxiety. And I'll tell you what, I don't even know the yoga. It's the mantra, Om Triambakam Yajamahe. I've been practicing that for years, and that really helped me in the middle of turbulence. And if I hadn't had that, mantra, I probably, I would have, it probably would have accelerated. So there is something to the practice. I saw the Tina Turner story, and she became a Buddhist, and I can't remember her mantra, but same thing, she was like, I'm going to the divine and I'm using my mantra. So whatever it
Right.
is that you put into your practice, you will have access to it. And it could be the smell, it could be, but it's really valuable when you're in those moments of fear, or when you're overtaken by judgment or whatever comes up. The practice will serve you,
But even when you're not, even
right? Yeah,
if you're not reacting to a negative space consciously, you're just wanting to spend a little time every day in a sacred space just because.
right. Which is the best. It's
So
so fun,
yeah,
so
yeah.
wonderful. And I I feel very strongly that that has served me so well over my lifetime. I do, and I know people want to keep score and, well, what about, prove to me that it worked. And the thing about it is, over your life, it's just this unfolding thing that you could say, wow, it's really made a difference. But, when somebody goes, well, prove, this and that and this and that has happened, I kind of resist doing that because I know I'm much, my heart is full and I know how to fill my heart and tap into it and see beauty and abundance. And wow, isn't that, a big part of being a fulfilled human, I guess is the right word or something. Anyway, I think, yeah,
Absolutely.
that being in that practice place or that place where you get to fill your cup. So when you are sharing, you're sharing from your overflow. That's a brilliant thing to do for yourself.
And start today.
Right.
Don't wait. Just
No,
start. Just
right.
jump in, not knowing what you're doing or not knowing what to expect. Just jump in.
Right. Because I do think showing up is a big part of it. It says so much to your inner self. You doing your 40-day need draw, you're showing up, and that's saying something to your human self. Hey, this matters to me. This matters to us. This is something that's important. And anytime we could make a commitment like that, we're watching ourselves, right?
Right.
You know, you're worried about other people watching you. Worry more about you watching you because you are paying attention. And the things you say, the things you do are messages to yourself. I truly have felt that too. And when I eat that piece of chocolate, I'm watching me. Even though I've said, so there's a part of you that's watching the and feeling the practice. And hopefully at some point you're absorbing the practice, not just thinking about it and showing up. And of course, give yourself, great props for doing that, but then enjoy it, right? Isn't that another way to say absorb?
Yes, it is. Yes. So
Yeah,
it becomes precious time that you look forward to.
yes. So, I guess the wrap today is allow yourself to absorb abundance and give yourself the time and the space to practice that. And when your little mind wants to analyze, say thank you, but my heart is just going to enjoy this time right here, right now. And
Beautiful.
remember, you've downloaded now what it feels like, that it's possible, and that you understand Creator's definition of abundance. How about that? Namaste, everyone. Have a beautiful
Namaste.
week. Bye-bye.